They choose my pubes anytime they wanna sit. Couldn't ride the wave and now you riding dick. Got no shame cause they rely on dick. Talking about a tip. Right around town on mess. Louisville Dodger shit. Don't dodge, don't miss.
You got 5 mil in the back of the
What did you say? Did you say something?
you got 5 mil in that orange Maybach.
Be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet.
bitch fit.
So I really need to go by the PDM so I can go try to see if I can get this Mustang. Yeah, fine. Yeah, though 38, baby. Shit, no.
Let me put this call up and see if we can take somebody else's call.
I'm about to go in my truck. That's that big boy. All right. I ain't saying you can't. You know, it's all about lucrative.
Another Glock 22.
I got one by the truck.
You want that T Grizzly pack on? I got the T Grizzly. That's the most
That's the one I got. Y'all gotta call me on Discord, explain how to send it to y'all. Once I do that, I'll be able to sit in there on Discord and explain how to put that bitch in. I just don't know how to send it to y'all. This bitch pressure. He talking about fuck with y'all. Talking about them things, y'all. This bitch hit the pressure. Like right now, brother. This when y'all gonna be like, ooh, this bitch pressure. Like right, see how it's dark, boy, it's foggy. They got them lights just beaming.
so
Pressure
this
shit.
is shade.
shit. That bitch so colorful right now.
Yeah, this is a shader. I just need the shader preset. That's all I need.
You gotta download it. You got that shit. You just gotta download that reshade.
I got the reset. I just need to know what preset it is.
I sure I'm gonna check for you.
Cause that's a whole list of presets in there. Oh, he redid the dealership, huh? So he finally redid this dealership, huh?
Man, what the fuck? But shit is done.
So y'all can't buy it.
Black market Ford.
He said that you that work for Pisha, right?
What?
Then he said on his VIP shit. VIP too?
I have no idea. Nothing.
No, I can't see these.
Fuck an album title, call my shit the coldest shit record.
Boy, y'all heard them gunshots.
Yeah, son, cause I'm drove as a bitch. Ain't up, man. These heavy ass doors. Doors heavy as a bitch.
They got a collision in the front of it. the shop.
I'm about to go put some gas right quick. Yeah, they practicing them guns in the ground. Oh, they shooting. But yeah, like I was saying, y'all can show me how to send it to y'all. Explain to both of y'all how to do it. Oh, what? Oh, that's dope as hell. All right, shit. I don't know nothing about none of that. I don't know. I'm about to make a spot. Yeah, here, junkie. So
Say they got 2 more in the backyard across the street from you.
This bitch bulletproof. You waste ammunition shooting that.
Hey, what's happening, Joe? I just got my box set of classic Pounders games from the 80s. Hey, Johnny, you going to the meeting tonight? Come on. If the 99% don't get off their ass, we'll all... Hey, what's up, man? Hey, man, where's the job site going to be next week?
What it is? Yeah.
Heard. Yeah, fuck, I done got sucked into playing this RP, man. I was thinking about Fallout earlier today. I was watching a clip that I made on Twitch. I had those explosive rounds in the automatic shotgun and I shot something and it started to like go up in the air and I kept shooting it and it just like flew away. Yeah. Motherfuck that. How about that? How about that? Get down, motherfucker. How about that?
I don't like people calling me motherfucker.
Yo, we still gonna meet up? Oh, no doubt.
These bitches coming from everywhere. Come on, dude.
Boy, y'all heard them gunshots.
Yeah, son, cause I'm drove as a bitch. Ain't up, man. These heavy ass doors. Doors heavy as a bitch.
They got a collision in the front of it.
Say they got 2 more in the backyard across the street from you.
This bitch bulletproof. You waste ammunition shooting that.
Hey, does excuse me come with that?
Yeah, you got it.
YB, Lil Ham, Lil Ham.
Jeffrey Lamar Harris was born on the 14th of July 2002, getting named after his father, who shares the exact same name. Jeff's family has seemingly mostly lived around the same area, the east side of Chicago.
Bloodhound Lil Jeff story today. Can you start by telling us where you from?
Chicago, north, east side of Chicago. East side of Chicago.
East side.
Yeah.
However, this east side is not to be confused with the official east side, which is one of the 77 community areas of Chicago located in the far south side of the city. The unofficial east side, on the other hand, which is where Lil Jeff grew up, is mainly part of the Chicago folklore, and thus its exact borders are often heavily debated by locals, with many even arguing that everything in the south side, from State Street all the way to Lake Michigan, actually counts as the east side, which would even include hoods like the infamous O Block and their main rivals STL EBT and Jaro City. And on the other side of the Washington Park, also hoods hoods like Tay Savage's Welch World. Yet these hoods are typically not discussed as being part of the East Side, but rather simply being part of the South Side, as in the case of O-Block, STL, and Jaro, or more specifically in the case of Welch World, part of the so-called Low End, another area that's a deep part of Chicago folklore, which roughly covers the area on the South Side from the State to the lake north of Washington Park. In the drill culture specifically, the East Side has become particularly known for hoods that exist roughly south of 67th Street, with this street and the two huge green spaces, the Jackson Park and Oakwood Cemetery, that border the street, creating a natural boundary in the north. However, there are also sets on the north side of the 67th Street that claim the East Side, such as TYMB and Dro City, which both rep the 65th Street. While the line of where the East Side ends when going westwards from Lake Michigan is much more ambiguous, with the State Street and the I-94 next to it, generally acting as a sort of last cutoff point, in the drill scene, this East Side is known particularly for gangs like G Herbo and Lil Bibby's crew NLMB, which is made up of two clicked up gang sets, No Limit and the Muskegon Boys, with these initials creating the NLMB moniker, which has also been used to stand for Never Leave My Brothers. However, NLMB's hood is located in the South Shore neighborhood, which is located very close to the shores of Lake Michigan, and is infamously known by the locals as Terror Town, a place with a long history for being particularly dangerous. Whereas when it came to Lil Jeff, his family seemed to mostly stay in a much more central area around the Grand Crossing and Chatham community areas, which generally have been much lesser discussed in the drill scene before Lil Jeff's recent blow-up, although the area has seen its fair share of rappers since the early 2010s repping these specific hoods. Now, Lil Jeff's family has long ties to the streets in the area. His father, Jeffrey Harris Sr., allegedly belonged to a street set called 068 C Block, C standing for Champlain Avenue, with their main spot seemingly being on 68th Street and Champlain. To put this location in context, this street corner is only about 0.3 miles from the location where Lil Jeff would eventually lose his life. And while there's not much available about this particular set online, Jeff's father was born in the early 80s, likely at their most active around the turn of 2000s. What we do know with some certainty is that Jeff's family were closely connected with the very people that Jeff would later go to war with, including the person alleged by many to have been the one to gun him down, although there's no real evidence at the moment to prove who was the actual triggerman. But what can be said with more certainty is that close to the hood of Jeff's father, there would be another large hood that would end up playing a very large role in the street beefs that Jeff would get involved in. This hood was well known in Chicago even back in the 90s and 2000s when Jeff's dad was more active in the streets, and its history likely even goes much further back than that. Their hood was called the Lon City. For example, in the classic 1996 song by Chicago rapper D.A. Smart titled Walk With Me, he lists several Chicago hoods all around the area, with one of the bars referencing Lakeside, Paxtown, and Lon City, as Smart mentions how both Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples run the two latter hoods. But while Lakeside and Paxtown have more or less stayed intact until this day, at least in name, Lon City would eventually break apart, therefore it's not included in the modern gang maps. However, during the late 90s, in the trial against Larry Hoover, the infamous founder and leader of the Gangster Disciples, or GDs, one of the former members of Hoover's GDs, who turned informant, would give a very detailed description about the Lon City's territory at the time, this territory allegedly covering everything from 78th Street to 83rd Street, and all the way from State Street to Stony Island Avenue. This territory being absolutely enormous by modern Chicago gang standards, however their main spots were seemingly on the 79th Street, such as 79th and Evans, which is just a stone's throw away from the 79th and Maryland that Jeff would later begin to claim. One of the highest ranking GDs of the 90s, called Shorty G, real name Gregory Shell, would even allegedly live in Lon City. Shorty G would also have a prodigy in Lon City called Lil Frank, real name Frank Smith, who would later rise to the top of the part of a leadership dispute. Due to its large size, Lon City had likely always had smaller sets working within it, both GD and BD, although the area has seemingly been majority GD. However, coming into the 2010s, Lon City, like most Chicago hoods, had lost the majority of its original structure due to the collapse of the traditional gang hierarchies during the 2000s, which led to the large gangs like the BDs and GDs to break into small neighborhood sets without any central leadership between them. In Lon City, these separate sets were also becoming more independent, particularly 6 sets that were known as A-Tray Mob, Evans Mob, Hit Squad, Mix Mob, Wiz City, and Drill City, the latter of which would eventually become Lil Jeff's set. According to Chiracologists, these individual sets would eventually break Lon City apart completely due to some of the BD sets backdooring the original GD leaders of Lon City. In the aftermath of this breakup, what's now known as Mix Mob would seemingly keep repping Lon City even after the breakup. Meanwhile, Drill City would seemingly get its name around the same time as the Chicago drill movement was starting. Chicago drill music being the ultra-violent evolution of gangster rap, with beats inspired by Atlanta trap and gritty lyrics all about about real crimes that were actually happening in Chicago, with this set having some of the first pioneering drill artists, such as the rapper known as Fat Smack, who is in fact the actual cousin of the rapper Pac-Man, who hailed from the nearby Drill City hood and is generally considered to have been the original creator of the drill genre before Chief Keef made it famous.
The devil might be real or a magic mystery, but I make you disappear. Poof, history. I know you sick of me, but Mac is the antidote. So if you act fruity, I have to split your cantaloupe. Hey man, you know this Pac-Man, Mr. Drill City. That's my hat, man. Hey, I tell him, the coupe looking like a Sunday, a chocolate Maserati, butter vanilla guts, valet pocketed at the party. Yo, on my heels, she was jocking me in the lobby. See the Maury Crocodile's pocket watching like she gon' rob me. I swipe for a room, penthouse, we at the W. The had your name on the neck and on my stomach too.
Already in late 2010, Fat Smack would put out a mixtape titled A Day in Drill City, this being among the first drill projects ever to come out. Drill City is also known as BNC, or Bar None Crazy, which generally refers to them being an insane or renegade gang set. This means that they generally don't adhere to any central structure of a historical gang, like the BDs or GDs, and essentially are willing to go to war with, or kill people that descended from the same original gang as them. It seems that Drill City will first call with another set from the former Lon City called Wiz City, or Whisper City, named after a boy called Whisper, aka Wiz, who seemingly died in 2008 from medical complications. Similarly as Drill City being bar none, Wiz City would be known as Brain Dead. This generally also meaning that they are insane or renegade BDs, who again don't abide by any centralized BD leadership and are willing to go to war with other BDs. In the very early 2010s, Wiz City was seemingly already beefing hard with several of the former Lon City sets, including Evans Mob, Mix Mob, and 8 Trey Mob.
Hey man, so I just want to talk about that Mix Mob thing, man. It's getting ridiculous, man, for real. On some real shit, man. That shit getting ridiculous. First of all, let me say that right there. Y'all black.
He hit the ground.
Hey guys, yes, the teen's uncle tells me tonight he is in surgery. He also tells me the teenager is 15 years old and he was shot while getting off the school bus. He was shot in the head. Now standing next to him